Good afternoon, good afternoon, good afternoon again, everyone. Welcome to today's Forefront Load episode of Spilling Tea. I'm your host, Tiffany Daniels. We are going again to that horrible world known as the JRC. But before we do, the usual disclaimers, the TED Talks. Just kind of an odd thing, and I know I commented on it on the last video. Just a little bit of advice on both sides. At this point, folks, the supporters are simply looking for a fight. I know this because we are not, quote, treating them. Nobody in any way, shape, or form is reaching out to them. Matter of fact, when they're attacking an individual, it is not anyone that has done any reply to them in any way, shape, or form. They're stalking our profiles because they're bored. It's Tuesday, and they're looking for a fight. Don't give them one. I say this as a troll, I will post here's my reading recommendation with a clip of critical thinking skills for dummies because I'm me, and I'm a smartass. But really, let's leave it at that. These people are exhausting, and they will continue to engage and speak their nonsensical idiocy until kingdom come. Nobody's got the energy to deal with that level of stupid. Take it from somebody who is a call center jockey, who has to deal with more than her share of stupid on a general daily basis. It is soul-sucking. And it's also disheartening to see so many individuals not engaging in critical thinking, not doing their own research, not putting in the work, just taking in everything that the media puts out there as though they're being spoon-fed and then regurgitating it like it's their own thoughts. It's depressing. And there's enough depressing things going on in this world. So don't exhaust your energy arguing with them. Defend others, yes. But by and large, folks, if you are me and you're a bit of smartass, go ahead, leave your smartass comment, block and ghost. It's not worth the time or the effort. These individuals are never going to change their minds. These are the kind of individuals that no matter what kind of evidence that you put in front of them, they're going to deny it. They're called the Kool-Aid drinkers. Much like the Kool-Aid drinking parents who follow the JRC, no matter how insane and inhumane their methods are. Some people, you have to learn, you just can't help. Nor should you exhaust your time or mental energy trying to reach them. The window to reach these individuals closed a long time ago, and unfortunately nobody cared enough at the time to do so in a meaningful way. If you are a person who has faith, pray for them, but don't engage. It's not worth it. All they have is petty insults and regurgitated stupidity spoon-fed to them by her lawyers, and the media. The same media, like the Times, that support places like the JRC, who've literally been called a place of torture and inhumane treatment, hell on earth, by the UN. Again, thank you for coming to my TED Talk. To the disclaimers, shall we? In the description box, You're going to find a link to the article that the Judge Rotenberg Educational Center doesn't want you to read. It's written by NeuroClastic, a small non-for-profit started by autistics for autistics, wherein they interviewed and surveyed over 800 ABA professionals in regards, 900 professionals, sorry, brain dead, in regards to the JRC's so-called behavior modification program. Matter of fact, the JRC doesn't want you to read this article so much. They have threatened NeuroClastic with a defamation lawsuit if they did not remove it from the website. So, folks, you know the drill. Read that article, share it on all your social media. Also linked in there to Ozark's first article in regards to Agape Boarding School, now known as Stone for Help Boarding School situation. This is a so-called Christian-themed boarding school based out of Stockton, Missouri, that takes in so-called troubled male teens, that has impending over 21 civil lawsuits, claims, and allegations leveled against it, all which have been substantiated by the Missouri Department of Social Services and include the following: sodomy, rape, sexual assault, child abuse, psychological and emotional abuse, child trafficking, starvation, and that's just for starters. You have one former staff member arrested by the FBI, another a doctor still on the premises with full access to the boys up on multiple, again, substantiated claims of sodomy, rape, and sexual assault of the boys there. You have an attorney general too busy lying about drag queens, trying and failing at life to defund public libraries, and just being a general mega regurgitating BS talker to actually do his job and protect the kids here. And our governor, I don't even know what to tell you at this point. So please read that article, share it on all your social media. Also, don't forget the other pertinent links to the Stop the Shocks campaign, including Autistic Hoya's massive archive on the subject, Jennifer Masaba's behavioral sheet of shockable offenses, a clip out of the 7-hour ordeal undergone by Andre McCollins back in 2002, the templates, and the ever-present self-explanatory change.org Shut the Judge Rotenberg Center Down petition. When we discuss the JRC, you're going to hear vivid descriptions of and catch clips of surveillance footage of people with disabilities being tortured and abused. If you got young children present, folks, please use your headphones. This channel is marked not for children for a reason. We use profanity on occasion and we speak on dark subjects. If your child is 16 and younger and they are watching this, very obviously, parental supervision is advised. Trigger warning, we're about to once again descend into the mad ravings of a lunatic mind known as Dr. Matthew Israel. You're going to hear gaslighting, victim blaming, pseudoscience, lies, abuse and torture apologencia, all coming from a man with a massive ego and even larger God complex. So folks, prepare yourselves, square your shoulders, get some calming tea, you're going to need it. Because now we're going to have to endure the condescending special word salad level of stupid that is Dr. Matthew Israel. Sent hell. All right, where we left off, right? Where we left off. Let's get into it here, shall we? 48 students have been receiving shocks for 5 years or more. True! And proven by the New York report. But he likes to tell us that New York lies because they're totally incentivized to do so, even though, most of them make what we do in call centers. Just saying, worked in the field, I would know. I actually make more as a call center jockey than I did working for the state. Put that in your pipe and smoke it. All of the students at JRC who receive adversive interventions have done extremely well. Have they? Let's ask Andre McCollins about that. Oh, but he doesn't want you to talk to Andre McCollins. Most of the students who have received adversive interventions at JRC no longer need adversive interventions and are either still at JRC receiving only positive behavioral supports, or have graduated to other programs, or have moved on to higher education or a career. Is that a fact? You think that's because of you? Really? My device made it possible for you to go to college. Funny, doctor. I went to college without being tortured. I know a girl in the disability rights movement, Down syndrome, managed to get a master's degree in broadcast journalism. No torture necessary. Doctor, these people aren't succeeding because of you. They're succeeding in spite of you. You took them off the adversive because they were masking to your satisfaction. It's not success. Us masking to the point that you can't tell who we really are, it's not success. Us being able to be unable for people to be able to tell us out of the crowd, it's not worth the mental health damage, doctor. Just putting it out there. There's a small group of adults, however, typically with moderate to severe mental retardation. You're using that terminology in 2010, doctor? Were you completely unaware of the person first language during this time period? Because I was mandated to use it. Mandated, doctor. You're really going to use those old ancient terms, and I'm supposed to take you seriously as being on the cutting edge of psychology? Excuse me while I throw up my mouth a little. Who would need residential care for the rest of their lives and who may occasionally suffer a relapse in their severe behavioral disorder. Here we go, folks. It's not a relapse. You want to know what it's called, doctor? It's called autism burnout. You want to know what causes burnout? This shit. Forcing us to pretend to be neurotypical every single second of our lives. Telling us quite clearly that we have to earn, hear me folks, earn the right to be treated like human beings and have our rights respected. That we have to mask and be completely unable to look any different from anybody else in the crowd in order to be of the value of our community and be worthy of the love of our family. You know what it causes, doctor? Those mental health issues that you don't like to admit that you play a role in causes burnout. It causes early exhaustion. It causes physical issues down the line. It causes suicidal thoughts, deteriorating mental conditions. Oh, but they don't want to hear that, do they? They need to have adversive interventions available to quickly and effectively address the recurrence of severe behaviors such as self-mutilation or aggression. Mother of God. So your answer to burnout, to relapse, to me suffering the consequences of your insanity is to put me back on it? So we're not going to talk about the elephant in the room here, where the reason why they suffer these relapses is because of their disintegrating mental health, because of the hell you put them through. So your answer is not to effectively treat this with therapy, not to deal with this through psychology and psychiatry. Your idea is the way to treat it is to put them back in the hell that caused it in the first place. That's like taking an individual who years later are trying to cope with abuse that maybe a family has perpetuated upon them. And the psychologist said, you know what would be good? Let's make them go live back in the house with their abusers. It's that level of stupid. This is no different than what is the case with other ailments that are suffered by people with lifelong disabilities. Oh my God, doctor, please, for the love of God, stop comparing us to other disabilities. Get it through your head that we are not all the same. You cannot treat us all the same. That is quackery, sir. God. In this respect, the use of skin shock is similar to the use of some medical drugs, which also may be used on a long-term basis. Okay. Me taking a pill to help me with anxiety is not the same of you strapping me to a machine on a 4-point board with a helmet on my head face down and shocking me over 31 times because I refused to move my coat. These things are not the same, doctor. And if you think that, you're the one who needs the psychologist far more than I do. If you think this is a sane, coherent thought, you're the type of psychologist who needs his own psychologist. Just saying. God. In such cases, the frequency with which behavioral skin shock is required is much, much lower than it was when treatment was first instituted, and the continual availability of the treatment makes it possible of quality of life that could have never been enjoyed if the skin shock had not been provided. Are you on crack? I know I ask that a lot, but are you on crack, doctor? The answer to someone suffering the consequences of abuse, alienation, and isolation is to not throw them back into the abusive situation. And you think if torturing an individual for refusing to remove them coat is quality of life, then you're the one who needs the treatment, doctor. Maybe try your own medicine on yourself. See how well it does you. This is the insanity we're dealing with, folks. These individuals see autistic burnout. They see the mental health toll that their so-called medicine does to us. And is their answer the logical, well, let's get these folks into therapy to start working through the issues that they suffered? Their answer is, let's throw them back into the abuse. That'll fix it. This is the insanity we are fighting. They don't want to help us. They don't actually think they can cure us. They just want to abuse us as long as we live. We're going to close out on that, folks. We don't get very many views on this channel. The few that we do get do tend to get removed from time to time. So please don't forget to hit the like button, hit subscribe, and don't forget to hit the comments. I do appreciate your time. And as always, folks, we here at Spilling Tea do hope you have a good one. Bye-bye, everyone.